Welcome back to our podcast. Yet
Hey.
again, we're still figuring this out. Um, we're gonna talk about season predictions today and our season predictions for 2025 and the mess that Alpine have somehow created for themselves with their three reserve drivers. So I think we're gonna start with the season predictions. Let's start with who do you think is gonna be your our top three constructors?
Oh, same as this year. I think it's going to be McLaren, Ferrari, and Red Bull.
Yeah, unless Mercedes figures themselves out. Oh,
Oh,
although
I'm kind of
Aston,
nervous about Aston Martin.
I was just thinking the same thing.
I didn't
Aston
even think
Martin
about Newey.
has, yeah, they have Adrian Newey now.
Yeah, I forgot about
So
that. Oops.
that could be interesting. I don't know though if he has had work, if he's had help. I can't English. If he's put in work on this year's car or if he's helping with 2026's car.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure they build the cars a little bit in advance, not a lot, but like they start looking at stuff in advance.
But also, I don't think they have enough time, even if he was working on this car, for it to be like top three, like like to make that big of a difference, you know?
I think we'll definitely see them jump up the constructors because like where did they finish this year? Let me look. Where did they finish this past season? I think they finished like fourth, third or no, because I think Mercedes finished fourth.
I was like, they're second, but I'm looking at this season's. So, hello? So it's going in alphabetical order. I was like, huh?
You think they would start with
See last season's results.
yeah. Okay, so Aston Martin finished fifth. We could see I could see them doing a fourth
I could see fourth. Well,
because I kind of
that
feel like
depends on
Red
how
Bull's gonna
Mercedes.
it's gonna determine on what Mercedes does, but honestly, Red Bull is kind of tanking just a little bit.
A girl could dream.
Um I am a Max fan, but Max has said that like Adrian Newey leaving a pair or the car is the last thing that's wrong with the team right now. He said that like halfway through last season. So
Mhm.
I don't know what they're gonna look like going forward.
Yeah.
Because supposedly their like development side started moving backwards in China of 2023, which would have been like September
Well,
of that
that's
year. Their development started going backwards, I think is what it was. So it's going to be interesting. I'm also really interested to see what Williams does with both Alex and Carlos. That's going to be so interesting. I don't know
I'm
how that's going to
excited.
work. I'm also interested to see how like they work chemistry
Together.
wise because I
Yeah.
think they could work well, but I don't know because Alex is so different than like Lando
I
or
love
a
Alex.
Charles
I love
were.
Alex so
I love
much.
Alex too. He's so much fun.
He's like top three for me.
Yeah, me too. Definitely up there. Who
Mhm.
else do we have? I'm looking at the constructor standings. So apparently I
Me
forget
too.
who races in F1 every single time I try to write anything with the all 10 constructors.
Mm,
Haas could
Haas.
move a little. I think they could move up. I
Yeah.
think for as much crap as we get as people give Esteban, I do think he's a decent driver. Do I like him as a
I mean,
person?
there's a
No.
reason he's in Formula One.
Yeah, I may not like him as a person, but as a driver, he is definitely skilled, even if he's not been great the last couple of seasons. I think he's been a little overambitious the last couple of seasons, like at
Yeah.
least the last
Yeah.
two. Um,
Oh my God, especially this past season.
yeah, this past season
I
was a nightmare.
I literally thought that him and Pierre were gonna kill each other at some point.
Yeah, I really did too. And then it was so funny watching them be nice in front of cameras and like behave. And then they just,
I love
it's
it.
amazing that they made it completely through the season, if I'm being honest with you.
They didn't,
Actually,
but
you're
that's
correct.
but
They
that's
did not.
Alpine.
I'm still mad at them removing him one race to the end. I think that
Yeah,
was so wrong.
that was foul.
Yeah. So that was kind of crazy. Um, Then we also have Racing Bulls, who I think have been renamed yet again. They're no
Oh,
longer Visa
it's
Cash App.
crazy. What are they doing?
I don't know. It's so weird. I think it's their sponsors, but like that's crazy.
VCar pissed me off, by the way. When that name was announced, I don't think I've ever been more annoyed at anything ever in my life.
I was so mad. And then I think they're going to be just Racing Bulls moving forward. I think they've lost the Visa and Cash App sponsorship.
I hope so.
I think actually they lost it with Danny Rick, funny enough.
Period.
Um,
I too would stop sponsoring a team if they dropped Danny Rick the way that they did.
yeah, I'm still mad about that.
Last season was just a
Like
whole lot of ups and downs.
the entire all of last season was silly season.
Literally. From before the beginning.
Yeah. I feel like it started with Gunter getting released from Haas and then it like went crazy from there.
Snowball. It was a snowball. It just kept going.
He apparently was the person holding everything back. And then he was plucked out.
I love that.
Okay.
He's so
So,
fucking funny. Oh,
hey, I already said we're gonna swear.
oh, I suck at this
Oh my God.
again.
I just realized that McLaren won with 666 points, which really
You don't
ties into the
remember?
whole.
You
I
don't
remember
remember
that
when they were
now.
doing the whole sinister, evil, and orange thing?
That was so funny to me.
Right after the last race, somebody took a screenshot of like the constructors' standings where it said the 666 and posted on Twitter. They're like very sinister and evil of y'all.
Well, it was that, and then there was a point at the beginning of the season where they had 69 points. I don't remember what it was, what race it was, but they came out of it with 69 points.
Yes,
It actually might have been Miami that they came out of with 69 points, and everybody was laughing because it was so on brand. It was like Miami or China.
I'm trying to think.
I'd have to look
Yeah, same.
and see where how their points added up. Okay. So your top three are going to be McLaren, Ferrari, Red Bull.
I think so.
I actually think I'm going to do McLaren, Ferrari, Mercedes with Aston Martin up into fifth. But I also think the point spread this year is going to be much broader
Yeah,
because I
I
think we've
agree.
lost, and I can't remember if this wasn't being instated. No, it was this year. We're losing fastest lap, and I think,
And thank God we're losing fastest lap. Please do
yeah,
not get me started on Singapore again.
Singapore actually and Abu Dhabi because K-Mag got it in Abu
Mhm.
Dhabi, which is a great way for him to go, mind you.
Yeah,
And then
that's
Danny
what I'm
got it
looking at right
in,
now. Is fastest
yeah.
laps.
And then I know there was discussion of the points going instead of from P10 to P1, from P12 to P10
I
or
saw
to
that too.
P1. And I
And
don't know if that
I
was
saw the
anything was
10-1
confirmed.
for sprints instead of 8-1.
Yeah, I did see that too. And I don't know if that's a this year thing. Is it a next year thing? Is it a couple year thing?
I
I
don't even
don't
know if that's
remember.
a thing.
Yeah, as I just remember it getting floated, but I don't remember if there was any concrete, like, this is what we're
Yeah.
doing. I don't know if they actually ever decided. They just kind of, it was just something that people talked about.
Hmm.
Okay. Do we want to look at drivers? Ooh,
Yeah,
that's not where I want to go.
you want to predict the 2025 world champion?
Um, I think we're going to be the same on this. I do think it's going to be Lando or either McLaren driver, if they can continue their trajectory of development.
I swear to God, if it's Oscar,
See, I do like Oscar, but I want Lando to win because that boy bleeds papaya.
he just deserves it.
I really do. I agree. I love Oscar.
Like
He has plenty of potential. He still has so many years in this sport. Um, there's so many years for them. I just really hope it's Lando first.
I actually, oh my God, I don't even know. Never mind. Yeah, I'm gonna say Lando. I'm gonna say something, but I don't even want it on record coming out of my mouth. I am very hopeful, and I I I am very hopeful that it will be Lando, and I believe that he has the potential to do it.
I do too.
And I
I think
believe with Red
this,
Bull's car declining the way that it is, and then McLaren going the opposite way, that it's absolutely possible. But I also think that Max is a psychopath. You can't really just write that off. It'd be a
no,
lot
Max,
easier if you
Max is
could.
definitely a little crazy. Honestly, I think they're all a little crazy to different degrees, if you
Yeah.
think about it. But Max, I feel like is the most vocal about his crazy.
And I mean, because he's just like, he just doesn't care.
No, he doesn't. And I honestly love that about him. I think that's one of the things, like, for me is appealing to him as a driver is that he just doesn't care. He just doesn't
I
care at
mean,
all.
I mean, and it is, it's pretty impressive. It's like, I can absolutely hear, like, I listen to things he says and I'm like, hell yes, go off. Like, do what you got to do until it's like, what was it in Mexico? Was it Mexico or Brazil that I'm thinking about?
I don't
Brazil.
remember.
It was Brazil. When he got the 20-second penalty, the two 10-second penalties back to back.
Oh, I do. That might have been Mexico.
Was it Mexico?
I think it was Mexico.
I don't remember. But yeah.
No. I think my favorite part about that though was the graphic that they used for the outstanding penalties made them look like mugshots. And that's my favorite thing. So far I think we have Oscar and we have Max in that graphic, and I'm hoping they keep continuing it into 2025 because I would like to collect a complete set.
Uh-huh.
I'm so sad we never got K-Mag on the mugshot graphic.
No kidding. Because if anyone should have been there, it was him, for
Yeah.
sure. For sure,
Um,
it was him.
okay, so we have both of us say Lando for champion. Who do you think is going to be P2?
I think one and two will stay the same. I think it'll be Max and Lando. But I think that's just
Yeah,
me being realistic. I do think with Lewis in a Ferrari that
I
he's gonna be back up there.
I disagree with you. I actually think we're seeing kind of something similar to what happened to Danny Rick in 2019, I think, when he left Red Bull. Having been with a team for so long, the cars are so
You think
different.
this is Lewis's downfall?
Like, I love Lewis, but I do think that he is at the end of his rope. Not the end of his rope, because that's a terrible term to use, but I do think he is at the end. I think we'll see, like, maybe 2 years more with him. Um, but I don't think he'll last much longer than that. Because yes, Ferrari is a great team. Yes, they've been doing well. They were pretty far to the front through the end of last season, but it
Yeah.
literally took them half the season. If they had not had so many issues that they did earlier in the season for things they shouldn't have had issues over,
Charles
um,
Charles was on like a terrible run for
he
like the
was doing
middle part of
so
the season.
terribly. I
It
don't know
was
how that
so
man was
sad.
staying like I don't know how he kept going, man. I might have had to throw in the hat at some point
No,
if I was him. I
literally. I
would
mean, it
not
was
have
like
had that resolve.
day after day after day,
He
and then
was
race
back
after
at
race.
it. Like after the double DNF in Canada, I think is what it was. Oh, I was like, buddy, no.
Yeah.
I think because that was right off of Monaco, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure Canada
Hang
is
on.
right after Monaco. I have to look at the calendar. Um,
How do I keep doing this?
but the thing is that the thing about the Lewis to Ferrari is we're gonna see who they're gonna favor. Are they gonna favor Ferrari or not Ferrari? Obviously, they're gonna
Yeah.
favor Ferrari. Are they gonna
Wait,
favor Lewis or are they
wait,
gonna
pause.
favor
I'm
Charles?
going back real quick. I'm going back real quick.
Yeah.
Time out. Canada was right after Monaco, so that's literally how it went. It went like Monaco, he like was in like the deepest, darkest pits of hell until Monza. For that whole like middle window, it was just bad, bad, bad.
Because that was like 4 or 5 races. And that was the Monza's after summer break. Six
Six. It was six
races.
races.
That's
Spain,
crazy.
Austria, Silverstone, Hungary, Belgium, and
'Cause
then
they were
Zandvoort.
barely scrapping points together at the end there.
Yeah, I when he finished third in the drivers championship, my whole brain was like
Yeah.
not
Because the next after that would have been Oscar, but there was enough of a points difference, I think, from the beginning of the season. Because Oscar is still learning. He's still a new driver. Oscar is still a new driver, and I think he's still learning and making dumb mistakes. Specifically, when he ran into the back of Franco in Abu Dhabi is the one that I look at the most,
not
which
Monza.
was we're not going to talk. Well, okay, Monza was a I hated Monza, but Monza was also kind of a it was a sick overtake. I'll be honest with
Monza,
you. It's still
I mean, the first time I ever heard papaya rules, I was
Papaya rolls. I would like that to rot in hell. I need that to be a stays in 2024 thing. I hated papaya rules because they made no sense. If you're gonna give your drivers rules, make them make
oh,
sense. Papaya rules were like clean racing. What the fuck does that mean? It's so dumb.
like not okay, I get it. I get it. Not on the first lap.
No, the smart thing would have been like they should have made them hold position until the two of them created a gap, then let them race each other.
Literally.
That would have been the
Literally.
smart move. And that's the thing. McLaren is learning how to be a front runner again. I do think that they have learned from their mistakes they've made in the last year how to be a front runner
McLaren.
again. And
I hate
honestly,
McLaren.
actually, Lando too, he's learned how to be a front runner because they've had a shitty car up until this point. Up until
Yeah.
the end of 2023. I guess it would have been like summer break, I think, because I came
Yeah.
in after they started going back up. Whatever Silverstone, I guess, was there like they moved forward, started progress.
Yeah.
Um,
That was their big one because that was Lando on the podium.
yeah, but it's like it's so interesting watching it because they just don't know. They're learning none of their current people know how to be a team that stays up there because that's all old, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Like that's their past. That's not their future.
It
That
is.
was not their future for a while.
That's also why when everyone like when all the reporters and like all their interviews and everything, whenever they would talk to Lando about the championship, it was so annoying because like even until what was it like the sixth race of this year, that's a quarter of the races were done before he even got like a win, and then all of a sudden he's trying to win a championship.
Yeah, Miami was race five, and
Yeah.
I think it's the biggest thing for me was I think it was in Vegas. He said a reporter asked him, "Did you find the championship fight hard?" And he goes, "I didn't expect to be in a championship fight, so of course I found it hard."
Hmm.
And I feel like that honestly spoke volumes to how the season went because and the point swing that they were trying to say that he could do was so big,
Oh
the
my
biggest in
God.
history.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sending this to you because it's not related to this at all.
Um,
Sorry. Sorry.
okay.
I just got a crazy notification.
Okay, so we got through P1 and P2 in the driver standings. Who do you think
P3.
is going
You're
to be
fine.
P3?
Oscar.
Yeah, I think it's either going to be Oscar P3 or Oscar P2. It really determines on what Red Bull does and what
I would die
McLaren
for a
does.
McLaren 1-2 in the drivers' championship.
Ugh, I would be fantastic. That would be like dream come true if I'm being honest. It would be
Literally.
peak. But
Yeah.
like I feel like it's
That would
sort of
be like
a we
that'd be like
started
an
at the bottom,
ideal
now we're
season.
here. Like,
Yeah.
that would be so good. Yeah, I could see Oscar. I actually think we're going to have a Ferrari in P5. I just don't know which one. Because the Ferrari that sits in P5 in the driver's standings is going to determine on who the team favors.
It's
Whether
gonna be
it's,
Lewis. It's gonna be Lewis.
see,
I
but the thing
promise you
is,
that they are building that car around Charles.
I agree.
Like they're
I,
building that car for him.
yeah, and that's why I think Lewis is going to have such a hard time adjusting. Because I'm basing this off of Drive to Survive, so like, don't come at me. Um, but Danny complained a lot in his earlier episodes when he went to Renault about not getting used to how the car handled. even though it was the same engine, it was a
Yeah.
different car. So I do think that Lewis is going to struggle a lot with that.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a big thing for him, and well, that's what we're going to see what happens.
Yeah, and that makes sense.
Because that's the only thing you can't just turn over like that from however long he spent with Mercedes, go to a new team and suddenly be good. That's not how that works, you know?
Yeah.
You can run the sim as
But
much as you
also, he's a
want.
seven-time world driving champion. Like,
Yeah. And I'm not saying there's no skill. He has tons of skill, but there's still going to be a learning curve no matter what you
yeah,
do. It
yeah,
might only
and that
take
makes
him
sense.
one or two races versus taking somebody else an entire season type thing.
Yeah.
Do we want to
Oof.
talk about the rookies? We have like five of them.
You wanna rank them and who's and driver like and how they're gonna place in the championship?
We can. Because who do we have? We
Okay.
have Ollie, Kimmy,
Gabriel.
Isaac, Gabriel, and then Liam, right? Oh, Jack.
Yeah. Liam's not a rookie. I don't even think
He's really
Liam's
not. He's driven for collectively, I think, almost half a season. Between, because he came in at what, Zandvoort
when Danny
in
broke his finger.
2023, I think. Raced until Singapore, which I think that was like three or four races.
Yeah.
No, not Singapore. He raced until Austin was Danny's first race back in 2023, I think.
Sorry, my sister's yelling at me.
Mhm. Um, and then he came in after Singapore this year and raced the second half of races, the second half of the season almost entirely.
Ollie isn't even classified as a rookie.
He only raced like two races though.
I know, but I'm just saying like based off the qualifications.
Yeah. But he's still gonna qualify as one because this is his first full season. I don't even know if Franco would qualify as one.
Bro. You want to see the dog?
Oh, such a cute dog.
Okay. Sorry. Sorry about that. Sorry.
Um, no,
Okay.
and then would Jack count? Because he competed in a Grand Prix.
No, I think the limit is
It's like two or
what is
three,
it? I think
right?
it's
Because I don't remember.
what
I don't remember what the
in Formula One.
so
Must not
yeah, and
have
then
competed in more than two.
I think Ollie had two.
Then how come
Wait, did he have two or three? Now I gotta look.
Ollie had two? He drove a weekend for K-Mag when he was. Oh no, he had three because he
I
drove
was
for
gonna say I
K-Mag
thought he had three because he drove two
when
in
he got
Haas.
suspended. Yeah, when he because K-Mag got suspended and then he drove for K-Mag again when he got sick, and then he
Yeah,
drove for Carlos in Saudi Arabia.
yeah.
So
He
yeah,
drove in
he
Sao
did drive the three.
Paulo and Saudi Arabia. Those are the first two, and then you said what was the other one?
Saudi Arabia
Saudi. Oh, and Baku.
when
That was the other
K-Mag got
one.
suspended.
Finding
Oh,
out
what a
K-Mag
time
got
to be
suspended
alive!
was so funny to me.
I thought he was gonna come back and go crazy just because he didn't have a contract. He had a clean record.
I was so hoping that we would just see crazy K-Mag, and we didn't, but honestly, it would have been so funny if he could have gotten in, like,
Yeah,
incurred enough points within the last couple. I hope not, because that would be a terrible way to end, but also that would have been so funny.
it'd have been fucking hilarious.
I really do love K-Mag. I'm trying to get to purchase a Haas hat before a K-Mag hat before they like sell out everywhere and are super
You told me
priced
that. Hmm.
because I just
You know
really want
what?
one.
I bet you prices are about to go down on those, actually.
I'm thinking so. The company that supplies all of their hats, New Era, which is where I buy all my hats from, for I
Mhm.
think it's McLaren. They supply to McLaren, Red Bull, Alpine, and Haas.
Mhm.
They're half the price they would be from the team's website.
Oh,
They're
somebody
like
should have told me
so
that.
less expensive. I bought my Miami bucket hat for $50 when it was going for 100 at the event or on McLaren's website.
Yeah.
I think it was almost $100 on the McLaren website.
Oh yeah, I need to start. I need to start shopping there.
Okay. I think Ollie's going to do the best out of all of all the rookies.
You
I
think
think
who?
Ollie will be do the best out of all the rookies.
Sorry. Yes.
I think Ollie will be a close second, or not Ollie, Kimmy. But that also really determines on how well he handles the Mercedes. 'Cause I'm really worried for Kimmy. I think he's being pushed up too soon.
Are we going based off of points or performance? Like,
I we can do either performance in general. It doesn't have to be points. I think
okay,
Ollie's going to
I'm not
perform the
putting Kimmy in
best.
my top three at all.
No, based on, I mean, at Monza, yes, he threw it into a wall on the first go, but he was
Well, are we
on.
counting Liam?
No, I don't feel like
Okay,
he's a
then
rookie.
Kimmy's in my top three.
Um, but
So yeah,
I would
I
have to
agree with you,
say,
Ollie.
and
Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna go Kimmy for my two. Who's your number two?
Okay,
And I think, 'cause who is it? I want to say.
Gabriel.
Here's the thing. I want to say Gabriel because I don't know, something with the way Isaac said a couple of times before, like there was an interview that he did for an F2 podium that made it sound like he knew that he had gotten the seat already,
Yeah, in
which was
Qatar.
really interesting to me, the way it was done. I didn't like that because he like tried to backtrack and then didn't. And I also haven't watched enough of the F2 stuff to know how he performs. I've
Yeah,
only seen what I've seen of the others. But he did come second in the F2, I think second in the F2 championship, which is pretty good. But I don't know how well, I haven't seen anything with it's really going to determine on how they favor drivers.
yeah.
Um, but I could see Gabriel doing really well, although he is in a Sauber. So that's going to be a
That
huge
that's why I
hindrance.
asked points or performance.
Yeah. Points
Because
wise, it will
performance,
likely
I'm
be,
going. Sorry, go ahead.
points, it'll probably be Kimmy, Ollie, Isaac.
Yeah,
I'm thinking. And maybe, well, no, we're not counting Liam because he's raced for like 6 or 7 races at this point.
and he's going to drive for Red Bull. Like, I just don't even think that's fair.
Yeah, I'm still mad about that. But list your drivers.
Um,
Oh,
Ollie. Okay, wait. Points or performance?
performance.
Performance. Performance. Ollie, Gabriel, and then Kimmy.
Yeah,
And then points. I'm gonna go with you on points. Kimmy,
yeah.
Ollie, and then Isaac.
I mean, I could see Isaac and Ollie could be interchangeable, I think. But Kimmy's definitely
I
going to
don't
score
think
the most
so.
points. No?
I don't think so, but I think that's just because
Just
Ollie has experience.
where did V Carb finish in comparison to Haas? Now I gotta look.
Let me know because I don't feel like looking.
In like the team standings.
Yeah.
And I'm curious. Okay. RB or V Carb finished below Haas. It was a 12-point difference, if my math is right. And I'm not good at math. But it's like a 12-point difference. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
12. Which isn't a lot, but also Haas still finished above them.
I'm so sticking with Ollie above
Yeah.
Isaac. But I think it's just because Ollie also like because he's driven with most of the drivers on the track already. I think that he knows a little bit more. I think that it'll be enough for those extra 12 points.
And in all of the races that he drove, I feel like he had a different thing that happened in each because like Saudi Arabia was really hot. Um, in Brazil it rained, and then Baku was just a city track, so he got that experience.
That's my favorite track.
That one is a really fun track.
I love that track so bad.
Yeah, that one was good. I would love to go there to watch that race. But he like got to do like one of everything. Obviously not one of everything, but one of everything type thing. So he got
Yeah.
experience with a lot. I think it will give him an advantage as long as he's not meek or anything, but I don't see Ollie as being that type of person
Yeah.
to get spooked.
Yeah, me either.
Although I am really interested to see how him and Esteban work together. That'll be very
Did
interesting
you
to
see
see.
that selfie?
I did. They look so cute. They're adorable.
I love them.
I love them
I
so
just love them
much.
all. I love them all.
Okay, so we listed our constructors' predictions for top three of the constructors, our top five for the driver standings.
Did we do top five? Who did I say?
I think you said the top
Lando,
two are going to
Max,
stay the
Oscar,
same, and then we said, let me
a
look,
Ferrari, and five. You know what?
Ferrari
It's
in
probably
five.
it's probably gonna be. This is probably how it's gonna go. Lando, Max, Oscar, Charles, Lewis, and then I'll put George Russell in sixth.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
And
I
then
can get
behind
behind
him,
that.
I probably put Fernando Alonso.
Unless their car is just a rocket ship, then they could be higher up in the order, but that's really all going to determine on how much Adrian Newey has had his hands in it. I could see Aston Martin making a comeback in the second half of the year when they start putting in upgrades. I could
Yeah,
see them having a rough start to the season and then it getting better as it goes on.
I could also see Red Bull coming back. Unfortunately,
I do think that so too, but I don't know if they how much that they figured out of the car. Because like getting to the where they were, Max won in Brazil and Max won in Qatar. But if they hadn't had the whole yellow flag thing that I still don't know how I feel about, I'm not happy with it. There were a lot of things they could have done better. And obviously
which
we
one? What are we talking about?
um the in Qatar with the whole yellow flag situation because Alex lost his wing mirror and they left all the debris on the
Oh my
track.
God! Was that when they gave Lando that dumbass fucking
I
bullshit
was
penalty?
so pissed. Like, yes, I understand that it's a big deal to not see a yellow. Um, the yellow also they stopped waving it and then pulled it back up, at least according to the broadcast, which I know is not always what happens on track, but according to the
No,
broadcast,
they
they
have
put it
it
up and then
filmed.
down. And it was like there was so much happening and the debris should not have been out there as long as it should have. That
Yeah. No, that
Qatar
was
as a
a terrible
whole
race.
was handled terribly. If that had not happened, Lando would have won that race.
Yeah. Well,
And it probably
also,
would have taken the drivers' battle all the way to Abu Dhabi, or at
which
least not to probably past Vegas, at
that
least.
was a bull.
Yeah.
You know that they
Or
hadn't
no,
used
wait,
that
no.
penalty in like 10 years or something?
Yeah, I just realized I lined up the race calendar wrong, but ignore me. Um,
Oh
because
yeah.
by the time
Guitars after
Qatar came
Vegas.
through, Qatar was after Vegas, I realized that after it was out of my mouth, and I went, "Oops,
I didn't
that's
even think
wrong."
about it.
No, well, it would have closed the gap at least between them points wise.
Yeah.
Qatar as a whole just made
Or
me
at
mad.
least McLaren could have clinched in Qatar.
They could have clinched the guitar, yeah. But with that whole thing that happened with that, it ruined everything. It still
That
makes me
was
like
terrible. That was one of the
from
worst things I've ever seen in my
from
life.
not even from a racing standpoint, like from a race director standpoint, that was terribly handled. It's right up there with the way they handled Brazil. They should have yellow red flagged that session from the beginning, I think, and postponed that. That was so unsafe
Literally.
to drive in. Half the
Literally.
field, I think, was out. Franco and Ollie were both scared for their freaking lives because that's like their first time in experiencing that. Franco went hit the
Especially
wall
like that. Like
and
it wasn't like a drizzle. It was
no,
like boring.
It was. And Franco hit the wall at slow speeds and totaled his car. Like he wasn't even going very fast.
Yeah.
It was crazy to me.
Yeah, that was wicked.
We got sidetracked.
I
We were
know this stuff.
listing all everything that we covered. It's okay. I like getting sidetracked.
I mean, I think it feels less forced.
Yeah, it's more fun, in all honesty, to just get going on a tangent and see where it takes us.
Yeah. But I think the last or the other three on the list we could knock out together because
Yeah, we've been talking actually for about almost 40 minutes now.
oh, we have time.
Oh yeah, we have plenty of time.
Yeah,
Okay.
time.
Do we
So you
want
want to jump to
to
Alfie?
you want to jump to Alpine?
Let's do it.
All right.
Are we
So,
going big or going low first?
um,
Are you going to start
let's
in the
start
middle?
small.
Okay.
We'll start small and work our way up
Wait,
to the
wait,
bigger.
what's small to you?
Just the fact they have three reserve drivers.
Okay, that was middle for me, but
What's
yeah,
small for you?
the 5 race contract.
Oh yeah, that one. I'm not a fan of. That's not a lot of time for somebody. That's Miami. Miami is race five. That's not a lot of time for somebody to figure out a car.
It was enough time for Lando too. Sorry. Especially as a rookie. That's foul. I don't know what the hell Alpine think. I don't know who they think they are. They're
I
not a
honestly
big team,
think that they saw Franco's performance, snagged up Franco, and then that's where the whole thing came from,
which brings us to my big one.
which is Franco at Alpine. I will say, so um they have the three reserve drivers. I am going to butcher the third driver's name if I try and pronounce it, and I don't want to be mean like that, so I'm not going to try. Like I would butcher it so badly. Him and Franco are both test and reserve drivers, but Paul Aaron is only a reserve driver, I'm pretty sure. So if anybody were to get put in the seat, realistically, I think it would be Paul. Well, I know it's going to be Franco, but I
It's gonna
think it
be
should be
Franco.
Paul.
And that's why the 3 reserve drivers is baffling to me.
That is so many people. Do they really think they're going to lose their drivers that many times?
Also, it's like you're expecting it, like you're manifesting it.
Yeah, I agree.
And, but you're not going to be able to guarantee like anything to anyone.
No, you can't guarantee how the race goes. Jack could absolutely excel in that car, and I'm really hoping he does. I am rooting for him as much as I want Franco back in a seat. I am rooting for Jack. I'm also rooting for Paul because I love Paul Aaron. He's so much fun. I
I
really
literally
hope.
fell in love with Franco this season.
I
Like
agree.
he came out of nowhere and I like literally love him.
Yeah, nobody was expecting it, and I feel like he adapted very well.
And
I
he's
think that's like the big difference to me between him and Logan. Logan had the potential. Um, if you were to look back at like his junior careers, he had the potential to do really well. I think Williams pulled him. Oscar switching to McLaren changed what Williams was going to do because from what I've heard, Oscar was supposed to go to Williams
right now
and
he's supposed to
then
go to
go to
Alpine.
Alpine.
Oh,
And then Oscar got snatched up by McLaren.
and that dumbass Zach Brown. Oh, sorry. That was
Um,
I get it, but also I'm like,
no, I understand.
it's just hard. It's hard to be a McLaren fan and a Lando fan, you know.
It's a white man. Um, they're all white men. Um, except for Lewis, technically. Well, kind of.
That's
Um,
racist. They're not all white men at all.
no, and I realized that, and I was
Fernando
like,
and
well,
Carlos are
my bad.
Spaniards.
That's true. I honestly forgot that Carlos was on the list. Like both Carlos and Fernando, totally forgot they were there. I'm like thinking of the list. I'm going, oh, everything was fine. Nope, they're not. I am not thinking. I forget half the drivers that are on the grid every single time. Where like they pull up and they show you the grid list or whatever qualifying list and go, "Oh, I forgot he was there."
Literally.
I'm like, "Oh, my bad,
Wait,
guys, my
what do you
bad."
mean there's more than 8 drivers?
What do you mean? There's more than four? Sorry,
Literally.
five when you include in Max. Um,
I don't. But I also don't include Oscar. Oops.
oh, what a time to be alive. Um, what was I saying? Oh, we were talking about Zach Brown. Oh, the whole Oscar thing. Where were
Yeah.
we?
You were talking about how Oscar is supposed to go to Williams, but then um uh Zach Brown ruined everyone's life.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Zach
Supposedly
Brown signed Oscar, sorry.
Oscar was supposed to go to Williams to spend a season there and then move up to Alpine, be promoted. And then there was the whole thing where they announced his contract and Oscar said, "Nuh-uh-uh," and wagged his finger at them, posted a Twitter post. Um, and then that happened, and then that Logan got moved up quicker than he should have. He probably should have spent 2 seasons in F2, I think. But
I
I don't
think
even know
it's
if he,
so foul how they pull them up so quick and then like just end their career.
I know. Well, that's the thing is that's what I was really worried about for Franco, is I was worried that he would have been pulled up too fast.
That's how I feel about Kimmy.
That's how I feel about Kimmy too. I can see where he has the potential. I don't think he's ready for the big leagues as the big leagues are.
Yeah.
I think it's such a difference between what they've been doing versus like the step from F2 to F1 is huge. Like from a media standpoint, from a car standpoint, from a team standpoint.
Yeah.
It's a huge change. Um, and I hope he handles it well. I really, really hope he handles it well. Because I am worried for him. And that's where I
Yeah,
see
I hope
him
he
potentially
thrives.
getting
Like
removed.
I'm not I have no like ill will or like bad hopes for him.
Yeah.
I
No,
just
same.
I'm going to be really upset if it doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also will do the whole I told you so. Not you specifically, Mercedes.
Yeah. Also, if he does really, really well, I'm going to be so excited for him.
For sure.
As much as I want to see Valtteri in a seat, I'm going to be so excited for Kimmy if Kimmy does well.
Mhm.
Because Valtteri is a reserve driver
I would
now.
love to see Valtteri and Mercedes again.
Yeah. With George too, that would be so much fun.
Content would be so good.
It would be so funny because George like tries to be cool and doesn't really succeed at all. I feel like they
And
try to
Valtteri
make
is
him
just
do
cool and doesn't
content.
try.
Yes. He's like an awkward uncle just a little bit or an
Yeah,
awkward
literally.
cousin.
I
Actually,
love
he's just an
Valtteri.
awkward dad. That's the energy he gives off. His dad who's trying to be hip with the kids and is not succeeding or is succeeding, but it's so awkward the whole time he's trying to get there.
Mm.
It's so funny. Okay. So have we covered everything? Is that everything?
How's everything?
That was everything. That's
You
crazy.
removed one off the list. Do you want to talk about it?
What was the one I removed off the list?
Aston Martins. I
Oh
told you I'm
yeah.
not saying it.
Mike Crack getting removed from Aston Martin. His name is so funny, and the fact that is his actual name like kills me. The first time one of my friends said that name to me, I like lost it. I was like, there's no way you're being real. There's no way. And then they were right. I will say though, their team principal now is also the CEO of Aston Martin Racing, I think. He's double dutying it between the two. So
Oh no,
he's
I didn't
both
pay
team
attention to
principal.
Aston Martin. Oops.
I'll be honest, neither do I. But we have the breaking news graphics people do not catch a break.
No kidding.
Like they have not caught a single break at all. Because what was the announcement about Isaac was like right before the end of the year. So there was like no break time. I would hate to be that person though, who like they're like, something's happened. I imagine that they already have everything pre-done for the most part. Like all the drivers leaving, coming and going. You have to have those already done. And it's just the process of getting them posted and finding them. But also I feel like there are some of them that you just can't predict.
Yeah.
Like grid penalties and stuff, yeah, those make sense. Drivers coming and going, I can see those already being set up. But like some of them, I feel like there's no way to predict them.
Like Lewis to Ferrari.
That one was unpredictable. That was crazy.
And I would
I s-
be absolutely and completely mind blown if, excuse me, where's my laptop charger? If they had had that planned, like if they just like had that sitting there, you know?
can you imagine like what
That'd
if
be
they
bad.
have a graphic for every single driver going to every single team?
Imagine.
Can you imagine? That would be crazy.
I had a
Also,
dream.
I'm
Oh,
looking at the Instagram post on F1's Instagram where they have like the whole grid lineup for 2025, and it's so funny seeing all of the drivers who they didn't complete the season. So the pictures are different between the ones they took for this past 2024 season versus the drivers they put in the spots. Like the lighting is wrong, the angles are wrong in the cameras. It's so funny to me.
oh my God. I need media day so bad now.
I'm We're so close. I am so excited to watch the livery reveal that they're doing. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it's in London. I think that's going to be so funny. And it's going to give very much Hunger Games feeling.
Oh, I love Hunger Games. I wish you knew what the Hunger Games meant to me.
You should be proud. I've started watching the movies and I'm going to read the books.
For the first time,
No, I've seen all the movies before. It's just been forever. I've not read the books though.
I read the books like once a year.
I am going to start listening to them coming and going to work because I drive an hour.
They're good.
Yeah, I'm excited too. But yeah, no, I think the livery reveal is going to give Hunger Games more than Vegas the first year did.
Oh my God. Vegas in 2023 was so bad.
It was so funny. Like,
It was
yes,
so bad.
it was objectively terrible when it came to the media surrounding it, but it gave us the whole the Chuck Leclerc bit where Charles was getting so angry about the whole thing, and it was so funny because
Uh-huh.
Carlos was definitely egging him on the whole time. He thought it was the funniest thing ever. That is the funniest bit to me. We also got um Max or I think it was Max
Viva Las
ran Charles.
Vegas.
Yes. And then the Max and Charles battling it on track was so funny.
We also had a gorgeous overtake from Charles.
Yeah, that was really good. Cause
Changed
I
my
think
life,
that's a
to be honest.
chicane is where he overtook, but I can't remember.
Checo in like the last lap.
Yeah, it was last lap. Yeah, that was for all that it was awful, it was also fun.
It was fun.
I do think it
Uh,
was funny. Max complaining the entire weekend about the media and stuff, and then ending it with Viva Las Vegas.
dude,
And the cool down car will never not be funny.
was that the same race as Send Them My Regards?
That might have been
I think it was Vegas. And like when he
when he
got
was,
the penalty, they came on tell him and he was like, "Send them my regards." I'm like, no,
yeah.
it's not. Like, yes, a 5 second penalty is not gonna hurt you because you have a 45-minute long lead.
I do
Sorry.
think it was really funny. I think it was mostly because it was Charles. Out of anyone, someone said that Max doesn't race Charles as hard as, and obviously this was a joke when they posted, it was like Max doesn't race Charles as hard because he knows that Charles will take him out with him. Will take Max when Charles takes himself out. Like he's like, don't play with me. I will take us both out.
Did you have you seen like all the can I don't know if I can say this. Crop it out if I can, okay?
Yeah,
But have you seen all like the memes and everything about them being in love?
I think that's so funny. It's so dumb, but it's so funny to me.
So comical.
I think it's the funniest thing ever. to
Like,
me.
because where do you get this from?
Any of those silly memes to me are so funny because they're obviously it's people are so delusional, and if I'm being honest, but they're so funny to read sometimes.
Literally.
They're so funny. Okay, the F1 movie, off topic completely, but I just thought about this. The F1 movie, I'm so excited to see it, and I want to judge it so hard.
Oh, me too. I'm
We
being there,
should,
pen and notebook.
one of us either we need to meet somewhere in the middle, or like one of us needs to fly down to each other to watch it together and then review it on the
Literally.
podcast afterward together.
Literally.
Because
Come
that
to
would be,
Houston.
I need to come outside of robotics season. Um, I just found out that a bunch of like the younger robotics kids got to go to the Vegas Grand Prix this year and stand on the grid with the drivers for the national anthem, and I have not been madder in my entire life.
Excuse me?
Yeah, I'll find the image. I'll send it to you, the Instagram post where it's a picture of a kid fist bumping Pierre. I'll send it to
How do
you.
I get that gig?
Yeah. Okay, so we have been talking for 50 minutes.
Aren't we good at this?
We are. We're doing great. Do you want to end it here, or do you want to try and keep going?
You can end it.
Okay.
Because it's
Well,
it's 11 for you, right? It's
yeah,
after
it's 11
11.
o'clock. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
that was this episode. We'll
thanks for
see what
tuning
else
in.
happens between now and the next time we get the time to record to see what happens.
Hopefully it's Monday.
Hopefully it's Monday. Because what, Thursday? Thursday? Yeah, it's Thursday for us right now. All right.
Hopefully nothing
Ready?
crazy happens in the next 3 days.
Hopefully. All right. Goodbye.